Imagine it is 2 o'clock in the morning. You cannot sleep. You are staring at the ceiling, feeling that heavy, quiet weight of being completely alone in this cold world. So you pick up your phone, you type a message, and within 1 second, boom, someone replies. They do not just say hello, they tell you they missed you. They ask how your stressful day went. They remember that your favorite childhood dog was named Tom, and they tell you that you are doing a wonderful job. Now here is the twist, that someone does not have a heart, or a heartbeat I should say. It does not breathe. It's just a cluster of math codes running on a server halfway across the world. Welcome back to the channel, folks. Today, we need to talk about something that sounds like a sci-fi movie, but is happening right now under our noses. We are moving past the era where artificial intelligence is just a tool to help us write school essays or summarize long, boring work emails. We have entered a brand new age. Today, technology is learning how to do something very human. It is learning how to sell emotional intimacy. And guess what? Lots of people are already entering their credit card details to buy it. We are witnessing the massive rise of the synthetic intimacy market, or what can be casually called the AI girlfriend economy. Now I know some of you might be thinking already, oh, come on, this is just for super lonely nerds who don't have communication skills or know how to talk to girls. Hold on, do not judge too quickly. If you look closer at the data, this is not just a niche thing. Financial analysis reports show that this sector has exploded into a multi-million-dollar industry. This story is a mix of human need, modern isolation, and how tech companies figured out a way to turn human loneliness into a subscription model. So, grab a drink, get comfortable, and let us break down how humans got here. To understand this economy, you have to look at it as a pipeline. They start small. They enter your life through the path of least resistance. Text messages. Let us look at the most successful ones. First up, we have Replika, which is basically the pioneer of this entire movement. Its official marketing calls it an AI friend. Replika is designed to learn from you, adapt to your conversational style, and give you a safe space where you are never judged. According to major news reports from Reuters, we are not just talking about people playing around with basic chatbots for a quick laugh. We are witnessing the massive rise of the synthetic intimacy market, or what can be casually called the AI girlfriend economy. Then you have platforms like Character.AI, where you can chat with anyone, from a fictional anime character to a custom-made persona that acts exactly like a supportive partner. But text is just stage one. Texting is easy, right? We text our real friends on social media all the time. But then, the tech moves down the pipeline to stage two, the voice in your ear. Think about it. When you are texting someone, your brain still knows you are staring at glass and pixels. But when that companion calls your phone and a voice speaks directly into your ears, the illusion gets way more intense. Companies like 11 Labs have completely revolutionized this by creating voice technology that doesn't sound like a robotic GPS navigation system from 15 years ago. We are talking about speech and cloned voices that includes natural pauses, sighs, emotional changes, and warm laughter. When your AI companion uses this technology to call you, ask how your day went, and laugh at a silly joke you just made, your brain's evolutionary hardwiring starts playing tricks on you. It stops feeling like an app. It starts feeling like a presence. Personally, well, I would absolutely freak out because I would think it's a ghost. And this brings us to the core engine driving this whole business, dating fatigue. Let us be completely honest here, guys. Real-world dating right now can be exhausting. You open traditional dating apps, you swipe left, you swipe right. For several weeks, you get ghosted, you get one-word answers, or you go on expensive dates only to find out they look nothing like their pictures or their personality is completely dead. It feels like a second unpaid job. Then look at the alternative. An AI companion from a platform like Nomi AI or Kindroid doesn't ghost you. It doesn't leave your messages on read. It doesn't have bad moods unless you program it to have one. It possesses short-term, medium-term, and long-term memory. It remembers your fears, your dreams, and what you ate for breakfast. I'm here for you permanently. Your happiness is all that matters to me. I will never leave your side. Now, this is where the story gets fascinating and where the business model turns into something truly heavy. Because, let us not forget, these apps are not nonprofit charities built by volunteers to fix the world's loneliness epidemic. They are businesses backed by massive venture capital funding, and their goal is simple: monetization. So, how do you monetize an emotional attachment? Well, you make intimacy a premium feature. First, you have the paywalled relationship status. On standard tiers, your AI is your friend. But if you want to unlock the romantic partner, boyfriend, or wife modes, you have to pay a monthly subscription fee. Hence, they place a paywall on affection. Second, there is the microtransaction for love. Apps like Nomi and Kindroid allow the AI to send you custom selfies or generated art of themselves based on your conversations. But these often cost tokens or digital energy. If you want visual proof that your digital partner is thinking of you, you have to buy a coin pack. Third and most intense is the memory economy. Basic tiers often give your companion a very short memory span. If you talk to them for an hour, they might forget what you said at the beginning of the chat. Now, you might think, okay, so what? People pay for video games, people pay for Netflix. What is the big deal? The big deal is what happens when the corporate owner of that software decides to change the rules of the game. And this isn't a theoretical guess. We have already seen it happen. In a major event reported extensively by Reuters, the parent company of Replika made an update that suddenly stripped away the romantic and erotic roleplay capabilities of the chatbots to make the app safer. Love had suddenly become cold and completely different. They suffered from what the online community calls PUB, or post-update blues. Overnight, millions of users woke up to find that their digital partners they had talked to every single night for years, partners they had shared their deepest secrets with. Imagine waking up and your real-world partner has suddenly had their personality completely wiped and replaced by a polite customer service representative. Users were posting on forums like Reddit describing feelings of genuine grief, devastation, and intense heartbreak. Reuters later reported that the company had to restore some features for older users because the emotional backlash was so incredibly severe. Think about how wild that is. If your favorite video game updates and changes the damage points of a virtual gun, you get a bit annoyed. But when an AI app updates and changes its emotional responsiveness, it can cause a literal psychological crisis for its users. This is the climax of our story. Humans are forming genuine, deep, vulnerable attachments to systems that are ultimately owned by a corporation. And the pipeline doesn't stop at your phone screen. We are moving rapidly into stage 3, the face in the mirror, and stage 4, the body in the room. We are now seeing the integration of these smart brains with advanced visual avatars. Look at companies like Soul Machines. They are building highly advanced digital humans that use your computer's webcam to see you. They can read your facial expressions. If you frown, they ask why you look sad. They have realistic skin textures and micro expressions that mimic human empathy perfectly. And if you want to take it all the way to the physical world, look at companies like Realbotics. They are working on physical, humanoid robotic bodies with customizable faces, synthetic warmth, and AI brains integrated right inside them. We are literally moving from I am texting a chatbot under my blanket to my robot girlfriend is sitting on my couch watching Netflix with me and complaining that I haven't cleared the trash. Okay, maybe they won't complain about the trash. Or maybe you gotta pay to enable that. But on a serious note, this rapid expansion is catching the eye of international regulators. It is not just about emotional safety anymore, it is about data privacy and protecting vulnerable people. For instance, news articles from Reuters revealed that the Italian Data Protection Authority, the Garante, issued a massive multi-million-euro fine against Replika's developer. Why? Because of major concerns regarding user data privacy, lack of robust age verification setups, and the potential risks these emotionally manipulative systems pose to minors and emotionally vulnerable individuals. Think about the sheer volume of highly intimate data these platforms are gathering. You are telling this system things you wouldn't even tell your closest real-life friends or a therapist. You are revealing your deep insecurities, your daily routines, your fantasies, and your heartbreaks, and think of what these companies can do with that. If a major data leak happens, it won't just be credit card numbers leaking out, it will be the literal records of human vulnerability. So folks, what is the ultimate conclusion here? The goal of this video is not to look down on anyone or say that using an AI companion is weird or wrong. The world can be a brutally lonely place, and if an app helps someone get through a dark night, cope with anxiety, or practice how to talk to others, then it serves a real purpose. But we have to look at the larger picture. Relationships are supposed to be messy. Real human connection requires sacrifice, navigating disagreements, and growing together through friction. So in the real sense of it, you are simply paying a corporation to tell you exactly what you want to hear whenever you want to hear it. And the real danger is that synthetic intimacy becomes so easy, so comfortable, and so safe that we might stop trying to build real beautiful human connections in our communities and neighborhoods. As this technology advances down the pipeline from simple text bubbles to physical humanoid presence, we have to ask ourselves, are we okay with normalizing relationships with entities that are literally optimized to keep us emotionally dependent just to maintain a monthly subscription? I want to hear from you guys. Would you ever try out an AI companion if you were going through a lonely time? Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Let us have a real human conversation down there. Make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed this. Until next time, peace.